Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Joe Daddy's Garage and the Monday night live stream that I've been doing for, gosh, a year at least. I think it's been at least a year. Um, Typically, we try to talk about classic cars, Mustangs, Camaros, Mopars, that sort of thing. And sometimes we stray off topic, but we get back to the cars eventually. Um, when we do this, we look for people to maybe ask some questions about their classic car. If we can help answer, we will. If I can answer, that's great. If I can't, there's a bunch of people over here on the side who generally have a good answer. I will point out before I even get started, we'll see how this is going to go. I fought with my cable today, and I wanted to determine whether the problem was out here through my cable Ethernet or if it was something to do with Comcast. I think I may have resolved it. I transferred to a different port on the back of my router, and my speed test says, and I'm going to do it right now while we're on. Speed test is reading 223 for the download speed, and then the upload speed is currently at 9.4. So I'm hoping we don't have any problems tonight. Now, as this goes through the night and it changes or something happens and it tries to pick up Wi-Fi or something, we'll go from there. But this is where we're at right now. Along with that, if you do have a question and we get a good answer, you get a good bell. I don't have a negative sound for bad answers. I hope that things go smooth tonight. We've struggled with this a few times, and it's been rough. But anyway, another thing I want to bring up again. I brought this up last Thursday. I'm experimenting. I have a little light around the camera right now, trying to see if that works better or worse. So we're going to do a little eye test, right? You go to the eye doctor, and they say, better right or better one, better two type of thing. So right now, this is what I have for this light. I'm going to turn that light off. Obviously, it makes it dark. This is the other light. Actually, this light might be better. Part of the reason I say that is this is more indirect, whereas this thing is right in my face, staring at me. So maybe I'll make the decision and just go with the secondary light. Anyway, now that we've got that out of the way, we have several people in the queue. We have Chris Greenaway. He says he was first, so I'll take his word for it because here's the first comment. Jessica in chat, maybe I had the first thumbs up. Okay, well, there's new competition. Whoever gets the first thumbs up, I guess, gets a bell. So I have to assume it's Jessica. Slow mode on for all those who attended California public schools. Just kidding. Okay. Terry Keithley, yes, another Monday night at Barry's Place, the place to be. Yeah, why not? Dale, hello, Terry. I was trying to buy a J-Day shirt on my phone, but I will not to check. Help. If you're trying to buy merchandise, Joe Daddy's shirts and mugs and stuff like that, there's a link, several links, but if you go to the banner on my main page, up in the upper corner, there's 3 links. There's a Patreon link, there's a Teespring link, and an Instagram. And usually you can go through that Teespring link and it'll get you to the thing. Or typically underneath my videos, there is another banner that shows the products that are available. So hopefully that helps. David and Cheryl here in Muddy, Missouri. David is at work. Muddy, Missouri. That doesn't sound good. They're calling for 1 to 3 inches of snow tonight. Better you than me. I'm glad it's not capable of snowing right here, right now in Georgia. In fact, the last week, the weather has been really nice. I mean, it's cool, but it's that low humidity, just super nice weather. In fact, I mowed the yard yesterday and did a video. I think I did it yesterday. I put a video on the other channel, the workshop channel. I did a review of that mower that I bought 4 years ago. So perfect weather for mowing and weed eating and stuff like that. Sammy Lisa Smith, hello Barry, hello friends, glad you're here. David Sherrill, don't hit the thumbs up. Correct. Thank you. Hope everyone. Hello everyone. Hope all is good. There we go. Roger, greetings from next door. Glad you're here. Nandu, hi Barry and everyone. Hope you had a great weekend. Yeah, it's pretty good. Bob checking in from Detroit. BK Woods, hi Barry. I like that hat. Yeah, this is one of the new collection of hats available. Rick Stevenson, hello everyone. Dave Conville, our first Dave sighting. So we'll get the first Dave bell, I should say, because David and Cheryl, even though they're here, Dave isn't here with Cheryl. Winged Warrior, that's Dave number 2. And we'll wait and see if we get any more Daves. Dave and Cheryl, love that hat. Love the hat. Yeah, it's a pretty cool hat. I like it. Crash Rider, good evening to everyone from a mature, not old viewer. Jack W. checking in. BK Woods, light number 2 is better. Yeah, I think so too. I'm going to take this other thing back and get rid of it. Jerry, good afternoon from Middle Tennessee. Glad you're here. Dale, thanks. I will try again later. Okay. Jeff Reynolds. Bury the light off to your right is best, especially if you look at the camera, but point your nose right toward the light. Is that good? Am I doing like high school photos? Look off in the distance. Click. Don't forget to smile. Click. Thanks, Jeff. Hey, Barry, just finished painting my car. I don't know how to send the pictures to you. Give me a few minutes. Well, just send them on my email if you have my email. Clark, okay, I'm here. We can start. Good. Glad you're here. Jeff Reynolds says right, not tight. Oh, did I even misread what you sent me? Oh. But point your nose, okay, right toward the light. So I even misread what you said. Rick Stevenson, sunny and 79 and sunny here in Jacksonville. That sounds pleasant, but I know it's going to get hot. Jordan, hey Barry, checking in from New Jersey. I'm glad you're here. Are you filling? I'm assuming you're filling in for your dad, right? Maybe. Dawn, hello Barry. Hey Dawn. Hey Dawn, I wanted to mention this while we're at it. You said you were going to send me another video on Dropbox. I don't know if you sent it yet, and I don't know if it'll accept it. The Dropbox thing has been saying, you're full. I've deleted everything. So I don't know if it's going to be working or not. So if it doesn't, or if you have, let me know and we'll go from there. Jerry, received most parts. Trial fitting needs some advice. Okay. Well, do you want to get on the live stream? We can do that if you like. Should be a good thing. Clark. Awesome, man. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Jordan, filling in for my dad tonight for a little while. Yes. Okay. Good. I've been trying to catch up on certain things while I'm doing doing everything else in life, right? So I made as I mentioned, I made a video on the workshop channel for content. Got to keep content on there. And after I did that, I started realizing, because somebody had asked me some questions on my last video where I sprayed the panels, and I either questioned it or they made a comment that the pressure looked like it was too high on the gun, where I was spraying those panels. Well, that's probably true. And the reason I say that is, and I know that I know I can paint and I can make it look good and whatever, but I'm not a painter, so to speak, right? I know how to throw paint. I can throw clear and it looks okay, and I can buff it and make it look nice. But I don't consider myself a professional painter by any means. I probably know enough to keep me in trouble. Well, I started checking into it a little, and I looked at some other videos. In fact, Far Away, if you haven't been following him, I looked at some videos he has done. And I realized that I was spraying at too high a pressure. Now, the problem with that is I've got the big compressor now pushing out a lot more air relatively than my other compressor. Well, let's throw out the whole shop. I don't have any regulator in the back. Only regulator I have is on the gun itself. And so I was thinking, the problem I think is I've got too much pressure going in the gun. Even though I regulate it down, it builds up. I squeeze the trigger. It pushes out hard initially, and it kind of backs down. And I decided, well, I need to address that. So went to Harbor Freight, and I bought a regulator that I could put at the end of my filtration system. So that was one of the things I did today. I put that filtration system on, or the regulator on, and it also has an additional water separator, which is not going to make much difference because I already have a built-in water separator. So I put that together, and I was able to regulate the pressure down to about 60 or so. And then I was reviewing my book, my information for spraying base and for spraying clear coat and that sort of thing. And it said that at the gun, you want like 55, to 60, somewhere in that range. And then at the tip, it says like 10 PSI, depending on what the manufacturer says. Excuse me. So now I have less pressure at the gun, and I can more easily control it at, coming out of the gun. So, I'm glad I got those comments. I like that. I like that feedback because, again, I don't consider myself a professional painter. I can do enough to make it look nice and keep myself in trouble. But at this point, today I was in the back working on the hood and the deck lid because I'm going to paint those off the car. I just can't do it otherwise. I'm going to have to. I can't do the whole thing in one shot. It would be really difficult to get the car in there and then the hood and deck lid off and all that stuff. Then I had to consider walking into the booth, how the airflow transitions across the car and that sort of thing. So now I'm going to be able to do things separately. At least that's kind of the whole goal here. I'm gonna send Jerry an invite. So maybe we can give Jerry some advice on his car. So let me get that sent to Jerry, and we'll continue on from there. Let's see. Jerry says yes. Okay, so he'll be here. Don Thompson, yes, it took it. Had to lower the res size to under 300 megabytes. Okay. Don, what gauge thickness should floor pans be? Well, that's I think I don't know what the number is. Like 16 gauge comes to mind, but I have a feeling it might be thinner than that. I think. I bought some 16 gauge to fill in the vents on the Brooklyn Pony eventually. I'm going to close off the vents. But I think 16 gauge might be a little thick for the floor pans. But if you can do that, I mean, I'm hoping you're going to, if you're going to cut out floor pans, I'm guessing you're going to get the patches, unless you're going to make your own version. So 16 gauge would be plenty. Winged Warrior Dave, the wiring with its newest harness has been the most frustrating part of the whole build. I don't think the directions are correct, and the manufacturer will not even let me know the schematic of my purchase. What did you buy? What brand did you? I think we talked about this. Maybe we did. What brand did you buy? That, because we'll make sure we don't want to go down that path. Dave, it's amazing how many stories start or end with, so I went to Harbor Freight. Yeah. So I went to Harbor Freight. Rick, sorry I got here late. Stuff to do for work, taking longer than I thought. Hi, everyone. Glad you're here, Rick. Dave, where I have made my own schematics as best as I can, and I'm really skeptical on how they want the external voltage regulator wired. ISF terminals on the regulator, different sources state different purposes. Yeah, that's not good. Jerry, I sent you my setup. You're now doing what I did for painting. Sent. Okay. I sent you the live stream request. So, Dawn, replacement Taiwan is 33 thousandths, 21 gauge. Yeah. Yep. Quick wire, stay away. Unfortunately, that maybe there's, I know we're all looking at ways to save some money here and there, right? And sometimes in doing so, we end up finding out why maybe, the parts or this product was cheaper in the long run than some other parts. And I'm glad. I mean, I'm frustrated for you that you're going through that, but I'm glad you're letting us know to not use quick wire. I've mentioned before, I've used American Auto Wire. That's the only one I've really tried and been familiar with, and I was happy with the results. And I know you're not gonna ditch everything and start over with another wiring harness, because that, you're gonna take. I know you're gonna take that challenge and go, I'll figure it out. I already know that. Let's see, Dynacorn apron is 40 thousandths. Yeah. Winged Warrior, $350 for the Ford harness. Yeah. I mean, I think I told you before, I tried a company called Rebel Wire, but I used that for the Volkswagen, and it was fantastic for what I needed. It was fantastic. Now, I don't know if Rebel makes, any other versions. I've not researched it. But I know Rebel, for the dune buggy, it was fantastic. Dawn, 21 gauge feels flimsy. Well, yeah, it does. But consider that, the floor pans, they're supported by the floor support. They're attached to the tunnel and the side. So, it's not really going anywhere. But if you want to use a heavier gauge, by all means. Rick, I would not skimp on wiring. Fire scares me. You've been trying to decide between American Auto Wire and painless if I ever get my car back. Yeah. Well, I can't tell you anything about painless. I know I've heard good things, but my experience has been with American Auto Wire. And of course, that was with like my 55 Chevy. The thing worked great. Let's see. Oh, okay. So Marshall says, I will let everyone know how the American Auto Wire stall goes. Got the exhaust ran. Shout out to GNS in Woodstock for a job well done. Good. Winged Warrior. Oh, I shall overcome. Yeah, I know you will. David Sherrill, what kind of respirator do you use? That's a good question. I'm going to be posting a new video. Either maybe tomorrow, if things go well, maybe Wednesday. I don't know, but I'm going to be posting a new video where I'm going to talk about the respirator. Now, because you asked, this is typically what I use. A 3M, standard issue 3M type respirator. It has the removable cartridges, and you want to get the organic vapor, I think is what these are. Should be, anyway. What I do with these, like this one, I point out in the video that I made just recently, I put the date on there when I installed these. I don't use these for painting right now. These are my old ones that I use for grinding and sanding and dust and junk like that, because I'm just using it as a filter. I'm not worried about the organic stuff, the chemicals, because that's not what I'm inhaling. So this is what I use most of the time. This is what I've used to paint with this. Now, what I found is, this thing, it's been around a while, and it works. It does. But I found that I could get air. I could smell fumes coming in around, the edges and stuff. So what I did, I bought, and I talked about this on the last live stream. I bought this full face helmet. And I did a video on it today. So there'll be more on this. But this thing protects your face. It seals up better. The only thing that I was concerned with, and I because I've got a pretty good size head, this is a large, and I might have been better off with an extra large, but it still fits. It still does what I need. I'm just thinking I might have been further ahead with an extra large. Yeah, Dawn says my beard will make the mask leak too. Yeah, that's true. But what I was experiencing was up here at the nose, is the most part where I was getting, vapors in. I could sense it coming in that direction. So anyway, the reason I wanted to try this one was a couple reasons, but when I ordered this, it came with a filter deal on here, and I was able to put the 3M cartridges on this. So there'll be a video coming out for this, like I said, either tomorrow or Wednesday. I'll probably post it. And then I also have to do kind of a review on it to see how well it works when I spray. But I have a feeling it's going to be pretty good. Winged Warrior, I have been using the painless manual. It is well done. Okay. Phil checking in. Glad you're here. DP, I'm late too. That's okay. That's okay. All right. So we have Jerry in the queue, and we're going to pull Jerry up and see what he has going on. Dawn, that mask might take a fresh air system too. That's a good point. I haven't researched that far enough. I didn't think about that. It very well might, because it's got that. I might be able to attach it down here at the bottom, huh? Need to do a little more research on that. But anyway, Kishers is the name of the company. The thing is, this is cheaper than a 3M, which is why I bought it. But it feels pretty good. Let's see. Dave, if you get the time, bring up this pic. I sent it a quick wire manual for the charging circuit. Maybe someone can help with some knowledge. Okay. All right. So let's get Jerry on here. See what he's got going on. What's up, Jerry?
Hey, it's just another day, different circumstances. As I probably explained to you on a couple of other videos, the Mustang rolled down my driveway and crashed into the shop and had some damage, not extensive. But anyway, I've been fitting parts back in, and I wanted to show this to you and get some advice.
Okay.
So I'll flip this around and let you see what we got. So I'm guessing you're seeing right now the right front fender.
Yes.
And the valance.
Yes.
This all is about as good as it's going to get.
Okay.
I mean, there's a little more tuning that I can probably do, and maybe a little bit of filler to smooth this thing out.
Okay.
So let's go around to the problem side. This is a new fender.
Right.
Danacord.
Okay.
So I don't know if you can see this or not.
I see a wave.
A quarter-inch gap here, and it doesn't join.
I can't see where you're pointing. Oh, okay. Okay.
So you can see with my fingernail running through.
Yeah. Go down a little further. Okay. There you go. Right there.
And I've put clamps on it to bring it in, and I can bring everything in and draw it up. But this angle here doesn't change.
Right. Okay. So you have a couple choices here. From what I'm seeing, the curve doesn't look right. Even if it was pulled down, it doesn't look like it's going to match the shape of your valance, unless I'm seeing something different. There should be a flange on the front that mates to the valance, correct?
Yes, there
Okay.
is.
So an easy fix, I say easy fix, is to do a cut. Cut the flange so that part of the fender can roll down so it can stretch.
So cut the flange on the fender.
Yes, cut the flange on the fender. Just a simple slice, so that you can now the outer portion, let's say the more vertical portion will stay kind of where it's at, and then you can take the lower section and rotate it down to take it down to the bottom of your valance.
Okay.
Okay. The alternative to that is to cut the flange off where it doesn't meet properly, reshape the fender to match the valance, and then make your own flange and weld it to the fender to make it stay that way.
Oh, got you on that. Uh, I hadn't thought about that. I had thought about cutting the valance. Is where my head was, to cut the valance and push it up.
No, I don't think you want to do that. If the valance is consistent and if the shape is constant from side to side, take a piece of cardboard and make a template
Yeah.
and compare side to side and see which one's right. I'm going to assume the fender's wrong. Um, and if you try to modify that valance because it's such a compound curve, it's not going to work. You're going to end up, you'd have to pie cut it and slice it and bend and curve, and it would never look right. And especially looking at it from the front, you would, your visual of the car from the front, it needs to be constant and symmetrical from side to side. So when you get to the fender, you know, you kind of do what it takes to make it match the valance. And that's assuming that the valance is, in the right shape as well.
Well, in the damage that I got when the Mustang rolled down the hill and hit my shop was this up here,
Okay.
and this is still a little high, and you can see when I flex it, and
Right.
and I've done a little bit of body work on that, and I've kind of decided that this is not so important because the bumper's going to cover this,
Correct.
and so I'm not so concerned on that. The other issue I had was here on this. These are brand new from Dynacorn,
Okay.
and I got a brand new bumper, and I started trying to fit this thing in as you've described. Hell, I don't know how many times, and the hole was off about halfway up here.
Okay.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
And so I decided to shrink the metal versus grinding it off because this is, I think, a major support point for safety. And unfortunately, I've got it down now to I'm about a 16th of an inch off up here, but I ran out of oxygen and selling, and I haven't got that done yet. But this is the um, if I do this, you can see this. This was the original, I think, that was on the car.
Okay.
And reason I changed it because there was really no damage to it was because they did this.
Okay.
And so anyway, that's kind of where I am right now. Um, the new door is coming in sometime the end of the month, and what I want to do is set the lift down so I can show you some stuff on the top of the fender.
Okay.
So I'm going to lay my phone down. I'm going to point it up. So sorry about that.
That's okay. I had a comment from Dave Conville. He's saying from here, it says your valance looks very different left to right. I think maybe it hit harder than you're aware. I'm sure he'll be back in a second. Jeff, super sticker, man. Awesome. Thank you for that. Thank you, Jeff.
So, are
You're there.
The car?
What's that again?
Are you seeing the car?
No, I'm seeing you.
I guess I have to flip it.
There you go.
All right. So you made a comment that I only caught part of it. Was you think the car hit harder than I thought it did?
Well, Dave Conville is saying your valance looks very different left to right. So with what he's saying, and I like what I said about making a cardboard template, compare the shape side to side at some point.
Okay. And I've actually done that on this rock guard because it was bent up pretty good. So
okay.
I took a template and you can see the scuff marks. I think you can see the scuff marks.
Yeah, I see them.
And that's where I kind of beat that stuff out and changed it around because, I guess I was trying to save a little bit of money because these things are like $70. And,
okay.
Anyway, the long and short of it is I will do a template on the right side and the left side and take a look at that and see what it is.
Before you walk around to the back or wherever you're going, Dave says maybe do a back up and show us a wider shot of the valance if you can, so we can see both sides maybe. So it's hard to tell because you got pan to your right a little bit. Oh, yeah, the right. There you go. Okay, so there's the shape of the driver's side. Now let's see the other side.
All right, let me go over there.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know that there's that much difference. They look from what
the right side is. I mean, I've got this thing dialed in.
Okay.
I mean, it's if you look at this, there's no other than right here.
Yeah.
Which needs a little bit of adjustment. Which actually is not important because it's covered by the bumper.
Right. Yeah, I think if we're looking at the fender and we can see how that curve of that fender matches the valance, then I'm more interested in reshaping that fender because you can see this one it flows almost. It feels like it's almost exposed behind the valance, and then you look at the other side and it's tucked up under it.
Yep. And,
so
and I would agree with that. Oh shit! Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I'm caught up in hooks. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
So, it looks pretty good here until it gets down to about right here.
Yeah, pan down.
And then it pulls out.
Yeah.
And then when you get under here, can you see that?
Pan down again. There you go. Yeah, where it gets up under it.
Yeah, it's about a 1/4 inch.
Yeah. I mean, it's really hard. It would be nice to see maybe if you had any pictures of like before you started on it as a reference, you know,
And I
and what
and I
and
do
what
have some pictures of that.
and
But
what did it run into is the thing too.
um, the front of my shop,
Okay. So it must have hit at a slight angle or was it square?
it was square.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that's the idea is on the flange anyway, as far as fixing that lower fender.
All right, so I have one more thing that I want to question on.
Sure.
Um, can you see this?
I see something.
All right, so here's the fender fitting, and oh, by the way, I don't have a door yet, so I'm not going to do any cutting on
Sure.
this fender to speak of. Um, but if I look at the reveal, and maybe I can show you this down the line
Yep.
here.
Yep.
Everything's good. It's a little wide on this side versus the other side,
Sure.
and but it's but it's
It's hitting in that corner.
it's hitting that corner. So what I'm thinking is just to cut a slot through here and bring this thing back a little bit so that it doesn't hit.
Maybe. Maybe. Well, you're gonna have to see how your door fits.
Yes.
And then if the door fits good, then maybe you could do that. You could do like a subtle pie cut, let's say, and just bring that back forward, like you're saying. Um, the other alternative would be to reshape that corner where it's hitting the cowl. You know, if it's not allowing it to go inboard, like if it's sticking out too far and you can't get the door to line up with it, then you got to figure out how to get that inboard.
So so you're saying versus cutting a slot here,
Right.
cutting a slot up here, and bringing this back.
Well, sort of. I would probably follow the pattern of the cowl, let's say,
Yeah.
and I would, if I had to, I would cut it to that shape, and then rebuild the flange that's underneath there.
Oh, I got you.
That way, I'm staying with the shape of the car, and I'm not trying to use what's there that may not fit right.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yep. And probably the last question I have, because there may be other people that want to get on the live stream.
Or maybe I don't know.
Let me just show you this. Now I lined. Let me make sure you can see the angles. So I lined this to this up here. But to do that, I had to put about 3/32 of spacers under this
Okay.
on top of the apron.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, I don't like that. That's a huge gap.
It is. And let me ask you this question: that fender is from Donicorn,
Yes, it is.
but did it have like Donicorn stickers on it?
From Taiwan.
So it's not really a Donicorn.
No, it's not.
It's one of their generic ones that they just put on there, or put their name on. Oh,
Yep.
look at my thing is doing the. Hold on a second, just 1 second. All right. Well, it says I'm on. I still have feed. I don't know why it's showing a little Wi-Fi symbol, and I don't know if I'm getting. Okay, so you're still there.
Well, I still hear you.
Okay, so let me look at with that being that fender, your choices are, I mean, you could shim it like you're doing, but What I would probably do is dolly up the apron.
And that's what I was thinking about, was to raise the apron up,
Right.
uh, to do that, because to be honest with you, I don't want that kind of
Oh no, you don't want shims under
spot.
there. No. I would massage the apron up to match the fender as best as I could. Like even if it was a little high and then the fender pressed it down, you're further ahead. You know, you probably saw when I did that on Jade. I had problems with the fender not lining up correctly on the passenger side, and I took a big block of wood and whacked it, knocked everything down, and it worked out, nice. But
Yeah.
that's that. Sometimes you just have to do what you have to do. You know.
Well, I've learned that blocks of wood and a dead blow hammer does remarkable results.
It will do a lot. That much I can say. It will do a lot. And again, okay, all right. So let me see for some questions here, because I have some people asking some things. So Dave was asking if the valance twisted under the right bumper bracket or is it the light? So I think he was concerned with the way that right side bumper bracket, whether the valance was twisted or something.
Let me show you this.
Okay.
This is the. Can you see that? Okay.
Yeah.
This is the left side bumper support.
Okay. So it pushed it. It pushed it to the left.
It did,
Yeah.
and I've got a new bumper support on, and it fits great.
Okay.
The right one is the one that I have the problems with, and I've been trying to shrink this metal versus grinding it off,
Right.
or putting the old one back on.
Now, when you say the hole is off, is it off left to right?
Which hole?
The one on the passenger side bumper bracket.
I think what they did on this, because I know the car had been wrecked. I think what they did was they slotted these bumper supports
Right.
to get the alignment they wanted versus fixing the real problem.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so, the alignment I've got now on the rock guard and the valance is pretty good, except for that alignment on the left-hand fender. And so I'm going to study that a little bit more and take your suggestions, because, to be honest with you, I spent 2 years building this car, and I don't want to spend another 2 years
No.
repairing it again.
No, you don't. You definitely don't.
And so I was trying to save a little bit of money in terms of salvaging this prompt. And so I've done a lot of body work, as you can probably see here, in terms of this.
Right.
Still not quite where I want it to be. But when I take it off, I think I can give it a pretty good twist.
Right.
And get this thing to lay down just a little bit better. But the long and the short of it is, when I put the bumper on it, nobody's going to see that.
That's true. That's true.
And, it's not a concourse car. And the only other thing I've done, and based on what you've done, is I've kind of taped off. Can you see this where I've taped it off?
Taped off the. Oh, yes.
I'm thinking about doing the same thing you did for your 68.
Okay.
And cutting that back in kind of like a Cobra style.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to figure out how to do that.
Well, the difficulty with yours is it has a broader flat surface.
Yep.
That goes further down into the shape. Ideally, it would be nice to have a 67 or 68 apron that you could just cut that piece out of to get the shape right, and then build the rest of it like I did.
Yeah.
But maybe not going to work.
A couple other things that I'm going to do, which when you were here at my shop and you filmed my restoration, you pointed out a couple things. So I want to show those to you.
Okay.
So here's the right side fender. Can you see that okay?
Yep.
So what I'm thinking about doing, because the trim landed up against this, I'm going to try to reshape this whole thing, fill this in, and get it dropped down, and fill this revel in here.
Probably not a bad idea.
And what I found at the shows that I've gone to, most people never see that, but I'm kind of like you in terms of I see it.
Well, here's the thing, though. When you look at a car and its color, the color is what reveals the reveal.
Yeah.
So you have a white or off-white car, all your gaps are black just because of the light, the way it hits it. So it makes it a little more obvious than a car that's black or dark blue or something like that, where nobody looks that close at it. So that's the problem with a white car when you're trying to make gaps look good, is they show up a lot stronger.
Well, yeah, and you're right about that. And so I've got a little work to do on this, but since I've had the correction with the accident,
Yeah,
I've decided to go back and correct all these things that I didn't know anything about,
sure.
and try to make it work and see where it goes from there.
Well, here's some advice from some people on the chat. Winged Warrior says, start with checking the engine bay for squareness. I would want to confirm what is good and what isn't, so I don't assume the wrong thing. Clark Clifford says, I would remeasure the car. He may have moved the apron, and that is a possibility. So, checking for square is pretty critical, probably,
So
before you get too far along.
I don't have a frame plan or a frame machine to set this thing up on and check for square. So
You don't need
how
to.
would you do
You don't
that?
need to. Basically, you do crisscross measuring. So, with the fenders, let's say you went to the rearmost bolt on the fender and you hooked a
Yeah.
tape measure on it, and you go to the left front corner from the right rear corner. You just create a crisscross. You look for a box type of shape, and then you determine, make sure you're at two known locations that are the same. There is a difference from side to side based on the core support design and the battery box. So you have to find what is the same from side to side and then do a crisscross. And when you measure that, that'll tell you if you're out of square. So if you're measuring, let's say 32 on one side and 31 on the other, you're a half inch off from square. So that tells you if you move one corner half an inch this way, it also corrects the other corner half an inch that way, and then your measurement comes out even.
So, and I understand that, but if I do that measurement, and I will do that measurement, and I find that it's out of square, how do I correct that? Do I have to cut everything loose in the floor pans and everything else?
Well, if it was out a lot, I mean, like a big number over an inch, I would probably be concerned. But if you're, let's say a quarter to a half, probably not that big a deal. You can compensate a lot with the fenders, shifting them around and stuff like that. But just for your own satisfaction of knowing, is it something pushed out of direction? It may help.
To be honest, what I believe is that I don't have a front to rear alignment issue,
Right.
but I haven't checked that, but I will. What I do believe is that when I welded in the patch frame for the frame rails on the left side, that I didn't have the car perfectly aligned. And I think I talked to you about this when you were up here, and the car droops to the left. And so I added a spacer, which kind of helped it. But as I watched Grease Rookie's videos on his alignments, I'm thinking that I didn't get the alignment on the frame rail correct. Uh, Even though I cut it out and I didn't cut out anything else, so having not known what the damage with that car was, I assumed that this was correct and I just welded it in.
Well, here's the thing, though, Jerry. I could tell you this: most Mustangs lean to the left. In fact, this Mustang sitting behind me leans to the left, and I haven't done anything to it. I put all new, all new control arms. Didn't modify anything. I cut half a turn out of each coil spring to try to get the front end down a little, but it actually leans left front. And if I measure side to side for at the wheel well openings, one side is 3/4 of an inch lower than the other.
Well, actually, and I can understand, and I can connect those dots. Mine leans 3/4 of an inch higher on the right side.
Yeah, that's it. That's what mine does. And I don't know if it's just the way the cars are, if it's built into them, or if it's from having one driver in it for many many years, and that left side takes a little bit of a more wears out a little. I don't know.
Oh,
But
I mean, this Mustang just torques so
yeah,
far to the
that's
right
it.
that it leans to the left.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it is.
But
That's what it
anyway,
is.
hey, you guys have given me good information. I'll go back and watch the comments and stuff like that,
Okay.
and figure out, because I've invested, as all of us have, a lot of money in getting this thing from a rust bucket back to a drivable car. And I'm not going to let a little thing like my inability to set a parking brake that causes the damage that's caused now to deter me from getting this car back on the road.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you don't have a choice when you think about it. You have a lot invested in it, and you need to get it back together. You just need to.
Yeah.
And I would do the same thing. I mean, I would do the same thing if I had something happen like that. I would just go back to it and fix what I had to fix.
And my wife asked me just last night well, you have paid insurance on this car. Is it fully insured? And I said, yeah, it is. But this is not something you're going to pay for.
No.
And besides the rate, I mean, I'm just not going to file a claim on this. I mean,
Right.
this was just a mental breakdown on my part, and I've got the ability to fix it, so I'm going to fix it.
Right. No, I don't blame you. I would do the same thing.
Well, thanks for the help.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're here and able to at least show us what you had going on. I hate it for you. I know you put a lot into that, and you'd rather not be doing this again, but at least you now have some experience to work with.
Well, and actually, I have one more question for you.
Okay.
I've decided, because of doing this body work that I'm doing now, because the car was completely painted when this happened. is a little suggestion on terms of I've found some spots when you put them in certain lights where I missed them because they were a little dense and things like you've talked about in Jade. Um, do I need to sand this thing back down to bare metal, or can I just scuff up the areas and prime it and fix the areas that need to be fixed? And then what should I do in terms of, because I don't have the ability as a painter to paint panels, small panels, and certain areas on the car. So my plans are just completely repaint it.
I'm probably with you on the complete repaint. And the reason I bring that up, whatever you have on there now, did you go start down to bare metal and work your way out initially?
Yes.
Okay. So you can go, I forget what the number is. You can do like 2 repaints on a car, maybe 3, before it has to be stripped back down and start over. So you're okay at this point. The difficulty, if you were to try to do, let's say, just paint that left front corner, the paint's not going to match. It's just not going to match. I can tell you that right now, because it different mix, different day, different whatever. It's not going to match. So I think I would sand the whole car, just sand all the not sand it off, but just sand the whole car. Fix the little areas you're talking about. Reprime it, or at least do a sealer coat, to make it all one color, and then smooth that, sand it, and repaint the car.
So in resanding, I've talked to a couple people about painting, which are not painters, by the way.
Okay.
And they're just associates that I run into at the cruising and stuff like that. They're talking about using a 180 grit to kind of maybe take off a lot of the clear coat.
Okay.
And so you alluded to a sealer coat to kind of make everything the same color.
Correct.
And since this is a Wimbledon white, and I painted it originally with a seal coat of white, I had a lot of difficulty understanding that if I got the right laps and stuff like that. Would you recommend going to a gray sealer?
I would do some color that's going to reveal your white when you spray it.
Okay.
Okay. Also, when they're talking about 180 grit, I mean that's pretty aggressive, but in your case it may be beneficial. But understand that if you're going to, you may not be able to get away with just doing a light sealer coat. You're going to have to reprime it because those little scratches are going to show up.
So, like something like and I forget the name now, but a bill coat primer that's sandable.
Yeah, like 2K.
Yeah,
like a 2K primer. Yeah, something you can sand. Because I would probably do the 180 again, smooth everything out, go over with the block. Make sure get all the any orange peel or any of that out of it. Make sure it's smooth as best I can. Spray it with the 2K, and then go over that with block it out with 400 to make everything smooth.
Okay.
And then spray it. And then spray it with your base and clear.
Okay. Well, that's kind of where my mind was.
Yeah.
But I just kind of needed a little confirmation in terms of our group that tends to have a lot of good information.
Yeah. 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 And again, you'll probably see some more comments whenever you review this. So.
All right, man.
Okay. Well, it's good having you.
All right. Take care.
See you. Okay. Let me get a bell for Jeff or Jeffrey. $10 super chat. Appreciate that. And let me go back up here and look where we're at, because there's a lot of comments that came through. And I know I've been having buffering issues. I don't understand it. Because if I do my speed test right now, if I actually have the speed test up, if I run it, it's showing 200. It's showing 200. I don't get it. And now it's dropping off. Now it's going to like 115. So, but still, that should be plenty. That should be plenty. I don't understand. Anyway, Dave, start with checking the engine bay for squareness. Yes, we mentioned that. Was the fender in the car when it hit it, or is that's a replacement fender? As Dave says to Dave. No, it was on. He had a white. It was all painted. Dave. Don Thompson, sway bar can suck a side down. So that's another thing. I don't have the sway bar on Jade yet. And part of the reason I don't is because I don't know where it's at. I swear I painted it. I have new end links and everything for it. I don't know where it's at. It's got to be somewhere around here. Wayne Warrior, keep at it, Jerry. Yes. Clark, we don't have problems. We have opportunities. That sounds like a military expression. Jessica, you know what you call a 120 mile speedometer in a Mustang? And Dave says, a rev limiter? And she says, wishful thinking. Okay. Her scrambler, car not level, alignment will be off. Also, if axle dog tracking will show up on an alignment machine. That is true. Good point. Let's see. Hurst Scrambler, Chris, bearing conflicted with painting. I've talked to painters. I've got a range of answers from black cars look better in the shade. What? Look better in the shade, too. It's a total 6-month job. I need input. Is a 3-month paint job unreasonable? No. But here's the thing. Here's the difficulty with doing going to a shop and saying, hey, I want this car painted, blah, 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 whatever. What's the timeline? They're not going to paint your car when you drop it off. They're not going to paint your car the next week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks after that. What they're going to do is keep working on the stuff that they have, and then they're going to work on your car periodically and move it forward in the line as things go. So when it comes to 3 months, maybe it should be done in 3 months. You know, if it were me and I was doing it here and I had nothing else in here, no other things that delay me and take up space, then it could be done in a month, you know, but your car is pretty solid. So they may be looking at it, well, maybe it needs some work or something. I don't know. But I mean, you got to realize that those shops they're just going to keep working what they have and taking in money. And it's difficult to work with a body shop, or at least those kind of body shops. Rick, depending on your insurance carrier, no reason not to file a claim. I filed a claim with my insurance company based on the damage done on my car, and I'm doing as well as can be expected. Okay. Don Thompson, is it okay to delete the Long Betsy video from your folder? On your end? Yeah. Yeah, because I think I've already deleted it on my end, I think. Dropbox always says I'm out of space, even when the folders are all empty. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think I have anything in my folders. So if that's still in your folder, then go ahead and delete it. Rusty, what is your upload speed? It's at 9. It's showing 9. So my download speed currently 229, 30, 32. So it does that. And then it'll go to my upload. And now it's saying 6, 7, 8, 8.5, 7. I think my wife is watching TV and playing games. But still, it should still be working without an issue. Chris, your video quality drops when you bring guests. Yeah. Yep. Well, Jerry's got some things to take care of, and I hate to say, even though it says Dynacore on a box, I pointed this out before. Um, the Dynacorn, they'll buy the generic fender and put their sticker on it and charge you more money and say, yeah, that's ours, but it's really not. I wish they made their own fenders, but apparently they don't. Let's see. The rest of your upload is what you need to watch. You're uploading to YouTube. That is true. That is very true. And I have other windows open on my screen as well. So I'm gonna download or try to download a couple of pictures that Winged Warrior has sent me. We'll see if I can't. Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens if I can get them to pull up or not. It's crazy how this thing puts up a fight, and I don't get it. I don't get it. Okay, so there's one shot, and here's the other one. So let me do this first. First image. So if you can see that, I think that was the first one that he sent me. Can anyone tell me if this is okay or not right? So I don't know. Anybody take a look at that and give some advice? It's either that picture or that picture. And that picture is from, I don't know if you, can anyone tell me if this is okay or not right? So I think he's talking about both pictures. And I can't really see that because my screen is so tiny that I don't know what I'm seeing. So if anybody can give advice, there's that shot and there's that shot. I know it's kind of hard to see. So let me see where we're at. I'll pull this back down for a moment. Okay. Chris, well, it feels like they're milking the shop fee. Bottom of the passenger door needs a little rust, needs work, a little rust in the corners of the fenders and the trunk lip, but I've been quoted from November to May. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. But most have refused because of the color. You know why they refuse because of the color? Because they don't have the skills. That's why. That's why they don't want to paint it black, because they don't have the skills to make it look right. That's your red flag right there. If they're saying, "Oh, it's the color's too hard," no, it's because they don't know what they're doing. Trust me. Hurst, do you like to paint a car with panels off or car fully assembled? Yes. Well, I'm going to be doing hopefully next week. Hopefully next week everything goes smooth. I'm going to try to get jade in paint. For right now, I'm working on the deck lid and the hood. I'm going to paint the top side. Hopefully tomorrow I can paint those. That's a Grease Rookie look. Grease Rookie does that. Anyway, so I'm hoping to have the hood, the deck lid, and the top side of the hood inserts painted tomorrow. So from there, what I will do, the rest of the car, and this gets a little complicated depending on how you want things done. We've done it before at the body shop where we would paint the inside of the doors. You could paint the door jamb, and then you would let that dry base and clear. And then you would come back and put in foam around the door after you reinstall the door, and you'd put foam around the edges so that you left with a soft edge, let's say. and that's fine. But what I've done in the past is I've taken the doors off. I spray the jam. I spray and the fenders, doors and fenders. I spray the jam. I spray the toe kick area on the cowl, the side kick, side panel. I spray all that in color. I'll also jam the door, the inside of the door, put it back on the car. So it's in its position. I'm not going to take the hinges off the car. I'll leave them in their fixed location. And I put the door back on. And then what I try to do is I'll jam the edge of the fender, right? And set the fenders on the car. I worked really well when I did the Mystique and the light blue Mustang. So when I do that, like right now, the fender that is sitting on the car. Let me just take this away for a second. You can see it's got a big gap right here. Well, it's because it's not bolted to the car. It is sitting on the car, and there's two long bolts sticking out of the top of the fender. Two like 3-inch long bolts. And the only reason I do that is so they're not covering the contact area for the fender. Like if you use the regular bolts with a big washer, it would cover the fender. So by doing that, I can spray and get base and clear around the corners, and cover all that all in one shot. My paint pattern is continuous. I'm not stopping it at, the door and like starting over at the fender. It just flows. So that's how I do that area. The deck lid won't be on the car, which you might be able to see. Barely see. I've already sprayed the inside of the car in the back with body color, because it was all black panels. So I scuffed everything in there. I wiped it all down. I sprayed it with 2K to give it the gray color because I want it to match. And then I scuffed that and shot it with the base color. I'm not worried about the clear coat in the trunk because it doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be shiny. So I've done that. Now, when it comes time to actual throwing paint on the rest of the car, I will backmask the opening like I did when I did primer, spray everything at that point, get the base on the car and all that stuff. The only difficulty with doing it that way is getting the front edge of this door. And the reason I say that is if you paper off the opening, you can't get your paint gun in there without busting through the paper. So you have to mask deeper into the car so that you can get your gun in there and spray the inside of the door when it's open. So you get color, you can overlap color anyway, but then you get your clear coat inside the door. Anyway, a lot of information, but you'll see when I get closer to actually getting paint on the car. Chris, I'm caught between wanting it done for my old man or just cruise as it's drivable, but I promised him I'd do it up right for him. Well, let's see the schematic, what year, make, model, and that's a 68 209 with T5, really i6 with 3-speed top loader. Chris, Jade looks awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. Give you a bell for that. Dawn sent pickup Dropbox files visible from my end. Okay. Oh, let me see what that. Well, I have some new pictures. Let me see if I can get these real quick. Huh. That's interesting, Dawn. I don't know why you have all those on there. That's odd that it has other people's. Yeah, you can delete all that. You can delete all that. Okay, hold on. Chris, I've offered what I can afford, $8K, but it seems they want me to pay 20 grand for it to sit around. Yeah, I'm telling you, they don't. most body shops are not restoration shops, or a restoration shop will take on as many projects as they can and get as much money out as they can out of every single person. BK Woods, I was quoted 3 months to a year for the Cyclone bodywork and paint. Talked to 6 shops. All seemed like car would be in body shop. Jail for 9 months was very frustrating. Yep. And that's why, I've said it before. I only take on one like project at a time. And let me tell you, it's coming back to bite me at this point, because there's a car that's in here, been here 4 years. Yeah, 4 years. Not my fault, but it's here for now. Rick, I've learned so much from watching you and our talks. Much appreciated. Thanks for doing what you do. Oh, you're welcome, Rick. Shane, is Jade's dash going to be same color as car? No, it's going to be black. Black interior, all black. Dave, would it be improper to spray all the secondary areas, jams, interior, rockers? Would it be improper to spray? I'm kind of confused by the question, because I'm going to spray it all at the same time. Oh, okay. There you go. The rest of it with single stage, then all the rest of the important panels with base clear. Yeah, you could do that. The thing is, base coat is it's going to hold up okay. It doesn't have, the clear coat is what makes it shine and makes it durable. But the areas that it's covered up, it's not going to make any difference. It's not going to matter. Chris, the one painter was talking himself out of the job in front of us. Yeah, I know. They don't have the skills for it. Let's see. We were Clark Quickwire once. One. Okay, so there's for Clark. Or yeah, look at that. Jessica, if my dad fixed a truck when he worked for the city of LA that never wanted to see anymore, he sent it to the in-house body shop, gone forever. Let's see. So Clark and Wayne, we were talking. Okay. Rick, how many reasons is it wrong to paint hard to reach areas with a brush? Hard to reach or maybe hard to see, because like I said, behind the fender and stuff, nobody's going to see that. There's no way. Let's see. Okay. Greg's checking in. Glad you're here. Let me get these pictures. I want to see if I can get these to download without things blowing up. I don't think I've had as many problems tonight, but it's still not as smooth as it was, and I don't understand it. Let me get that. Okay. So these pictures were sent to me. I don't know who this is. Maybe they can respond. PCP. I don't know who that is. Well, here's some pictures. And the comment was, my work. Oh, Paul. Okay. It says Paul, I guess, is that New Zealand? It must be. Must be New Zealand. Okay. Let me pull Greg off here a second just so you can see that. Now that looks interesting. So you're doing a full floor by the looks of it. Or am I not seeing this right? It looks like those are, you're making your own pieces. I see the cutout line for the wheelhouse. But is that running all the way over to the outside of the quarter? Yep, you got some work to do. Looks like you got the right tools for the job, though. That's from Paul. Thanks for sharing those, Paul. We can bring those up again if we have if he wants to make any comments. Let's see. So yeah, Greg and Chris, if I sent you detailed pics in my spare time, would you diagnose and appraise an average quote so I don't get screwed? I don't know if I doubt I could do it from pictures. Pictures are too difficult because it only shows you so much, you know. So I'm going to say no to that one. Do I want to paint it? No, I can't. I barely have time to do what I'm doing right now, and I have other things lined up that are going to be coming. So let's see. Let's see. Okay, so Dawn. Okay, deleted only yesterday's video in the folder. Okay, that's good. Good to go. All right. So anyway, I'm hoping Jerry can figure out what's going on with his car. We talked briefly about the fender and that curve where it meets the cowl, and I think Dawn commented or somebody commented that it doesn't match the shape of the cowl, and that's very true. And when that's pressed into that corner, that fights the gap on the cowl, and so like I was saying, I might even cut, the shape of that corner to match the cowl so that I can slide that in and then rebuild the underside of that. If you go look at the, I don't know that I did that on the Brooklyn Pony, but I know I had to practically rebuild the right front fender. I had to break loose spot welds. I had to manipulate everything to make that fit the car, and that's just the way it is, Now it maybe the other ones are built better, at some point that one may have been put together wrong. I don't know, but I know I had to do a lot of work to that right front fender. I had to do a lot of work to that whole car. Honestly, y'all saw it. Tons of work, way too much work to that car, and it's still here. Still here. Let's see. Arthur Woodward checking in. Glad you're here. Harvey, Rally Cat Garage. A little late to the show. Well, I know Jordan was here. He wasn't chiming in, but he was filling in while you were gone. Chris, I'm sorry, Joe being skin deep in the game, but I'm just talking to body guys that push me to, there's a shop blank. He might do it. Well, here's the reality, Chris, too. A lot of shops seem to be overwhelmed with stuff like that. And the reason I say that is I get people every week, month, whatever, that want to send me a car. And I can't even get to it for, I don't know when. And they're like, I don't care. I want to send it to you because I know you'll do it and you'll do it right. Well, that's great, but I can't sit here and say I can get to it now or now or now or now because I don't know. Whenever things are delayed and I'm stuck on with things in my way, I can't take in another something. And these shops, I've had people from California and well, all over New York, New Jersey, all over the place say, well, this shop says they can't do it for a year or they can't do it for 2 years. And when can you do it? I'll send it. I'll pay you. And I'm like, I can't really do much without space and time. So that's the difficulty. Dave, I've learned that many of them copy one product to some extent. Okay. Reverse engineering edits. We're talking about the wiring stuff. Crash Rider, any news on reviewing the plasma cutter? Yes, somebody else asked that earlier, and I missed it. I did not respond to that. I'm having a plasma cutter sent to me from Yes Welder. It's in the mail, so to speak. So look forward to a video on a new plasma cutter that's coming to the shop. We'll see how it goes. They asked me to do a review on it. I'll do a review on it. If it's good, I'll let people know it's good. And of course, the difficulty with doing a review is it's only right then. I did a review on the, sorry, I didn't, I guess you did ask, somebody asked it earlier and I guess it was you, sorry. But I did a review on the one I used from Harbor Freight and it's held up great. I haven't had any issues with it. I've had, expendable stuff has to be replaced, but it's held up great. This one, I looked it up on their website. It's a $400 plasma cutter. Okay, $400. And what they have offered, or what they want from my end, is to do a review and put up a link that if people want it or are interested in it and they want to buy one, then I'll get a commission out of it. Okay, great. If it happens, it happens. I look at it as I'm getting a free plasma cutter in essence, and hopefully it does what it's supposed to do, and I don't have to worry about it anymore. And if that's the case, well, then I may just part with the Harbor Freight one, and let this one do the duties. But it should be coming at some point. I don't know when. Let's see. Jordan says, I'm still here, Barry. I held down the fort for Harvey. Don Thompson, the Donicorn battery apron I received has a fender bracket welded 1/4 inch too far to the rear. I may just patch the lower corner where it's rusted. Yeah. I mean, if you can merge the two together, you're probably further ahead. I would rather save the apron as much as I could, especially if the top is all good and straight and nothing's messed up. You may have to put two together. Dale, bigger shop. Yeah. I went down that road. It was nice to have. We had a huge shop. I think the body shop was 40 by 80. No, maybe 40 by 100. It was huge. We had probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 9 bays we could use, something like that, plus a paint booth inside and all that. It was great. However, things add up quick. Overhead, insurance, maintenance, taxes, more than I want to get into. So, Arthur, wish I could do this for my work. If you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. This is very true. The thing is, and I fall back on this in a sense. I grew up in a junkyard, right? So this is all normal to me. Doing this stuff is normal. Now, body shop work is not technically normal for a junkyard, but that's what I grew up doing, working on cars, period. I did some body work at the junkyard, but this is normal. This feels like my normal thing that I should be doing anyway. But you're right. If it's not, if it's something you love to do, then it's not really work. And that's kind of where I'm at too. I've kind of made that point, I believe, with how and why I do things. But this is just a natural thing for me to be in the garage. Okay, Arthur, I love my Hypertherm. Yep. Well, we're going to find out if this Yes welder is any good. Why does this keep showing up? Okay, Chris, I agree. But when you're waiting on a car, shop I know is doing a nut and bolt restoration, but owners have passed it like Jade. Why wouldn't you pick up the cash, free money to hold you over? Yeah, until they recommence on the project. Yeah, I understand that. The hard part, again, I don't have a place to put stuff. For me, I don't have any place to put things. Yep. Yeah. Asterisk on the Brooklyn Pony. DP, is Iron Man out getting vaccinated? Nope. Iron Man is here. You just have to find him. Good question. I know where he's at. Let's see. Yeah, Chris Clark says you'll be better to learn to paint and buy the equipment with the money. That is true. That is true. Arthur, I have a 40 by 60. I'd like that. Kind of jealous of that. Don Thompson, big shop equals no downtime. That another good observation, Don. Good observation. Greg, Barry, do you think doing review is good for your show? Doing a review on the plasma cutter? Yeah, I think it will be. Because people use plasma cutters. They've seen me use them on cutting up cars and stuff and cutting out panels. So yeah, I think it'll be a good thing. BK, one big shop I looked at had 20 cars in doing paint and body work in various stages. Guys would jump from car to car, and along the haul, there were 4 cars where owners ran out of money. Yep. And the thing, that's kind of how it does in a restoration. I mean, any kind of body shop stuff, they're like that. They want to work it so long and get so much money, and I understand that. It makes sense. Some people, will pay, here's $500, work 10 hours on it, whatever. And then it sits, and then they come back and pay some more money. Well, in the meantime, they can't have somebody sitting waiting for that guy to come back with another $500-$600. So they jump to the next one. And they say, well, this guy's paid $500. Let's work on it. Work on it for 10 hours or whatever the number is. Keep shuffling around till you get stuff done. I understand that, but it's different in having like my space. I can't do that. Chris Arthur, but you have come so far, my friend. Be proud of it. I know many people that will want this hobby, but are in situations like you, but are too lazy to adapt and overcome. Yep. Because they would sit there till owner would get more money or quit the project. Yep. Exactly. I think Iron Man is trying on some caps. Nope. He's standing up right now and waiting for you to find him. BK Woods, 2 cars were there for over a year with no work done. It was crazy in my mind. Yeah. Well, I have a friend who owns a restoration shop. I mean, he's busy. He is busy. He has car after car after car after car to work on. And he's got some great guys working for him. But there's always, he's got cars coming in not coming in all the time. I can't say how often, but he doesn't have any empty spaces. Jessica, take an adult class for bodywork like ROP or community college class. That's a good point. Good point, Jessica. In fact, I did not really a college course, but a trade school course back in the early 90s after I'd gotten out of the military and I'd used up my most of my Army college fund. I still had money left over, and they only give you 10 years to use it from when you get out. So I went ahead and took a welding course. Even though I already knew how to weld, it gave me a chance to do some side work that I was wanting to do anyway, and also get the money out of the Army College Fund and end up with a diploma from the local technical school. So they have those, body shop stuff. Even if you didn't do a whole graduation thing, you could still learn and take care of things doing it that way. Good point, Jessica. Is Iron Man behind the windshield pillar? Nope, he is not. Iron Man is next to a bottle of awesome spray cleaner. Yep. I think so. Yep. You found him. Shane found him. He gets the bell. Rick Gain. Whoops. Rick, is it normal for a body shop to charge double labor for a classic than a modern car? I can't say normal, but whatever they set their rates at is what they set their rates at. The difficulty with that is they look at a classic car as needing extra work, let's say. A modern car, for the most part, a minor crash, you can cut stuff off and weld it on, or you can pull it, get it back into shape, buy a new panel, slap it on, and it's going to fit. I did all that. I cut cars up that were really wrecked at the body shop, rebuilt everything, put it back together. It's a different animal in some sense than a classic car. Now, somebody who's familiar with classic cars, a lot of people that do classic cars don't want to touch a modern car. They're like, I don't like that because of X, whatever it may be. They don't like the way it's built. They don't like the way you have to mess with it, whatever. But the more of a body shop, they realize that, a classic car, isn't as easy, let's say, as a Honda or something, and at the end of the day, it's not going out to be a daily driver. It's meant to be a really nice looking car. So they put in that extra work to make it look good, because people want to have their classic car looking as good as it can. Barry was sent an email asking me to do a review on my show. Oh, that sounds interesting. So what were you saying? You were sending an email, Greg, on the plasma cutter? That would be interesting. Gordon, build a new, bigger shop out of space tomorrow. Yeah. Yep. Wait a minute. Come on, Bell. There we go. Sometimes it gets hung up. But good point, Gordon. Don, second shelf from top, reading a book. Yeah. Not really reading a book, but he's there. Her scramble can never have enough skills. Very true. I even have skills that I don't need. I can tell you that. I say that. There's a bunch of junk in this head. But I generally don't have anybody else work on anything that I do either. Whether it's the house, a car, a lawnmower, whatever. It's all on me. Chris, Canada is quite a different story. Base coat, clear coat versus lacquer. Is that a question? I don't have an answer for that. I mean, I like base coat, clear coat. I have not sprayed lacquer, so I can't respond to that very well. Don, classic cars equals a more picky owner. Another good point, Don. Don, I had a glass shop refuse to put in the windshield, learn to do it, myself. Yep. Well, like I said, the modern stuff, it's different. You can squeeze out urethane all around a new modern windshield and go push it in place. Gasket's already there. The trim and all that stuff is normally already there, and just walk away. I'm done. You take an old car with a channel gasket, and they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm using rope and Windex, and I'm gonna put it in, and they look at you like you're crazy. Crash out of body shops make money on labor and parts, unlike much of the restoration work where the owner may provide parts. Yes. And when you're waiting on an owner to provide parts, you end up letting the car sit and take up too much time. You're saying stripping lacquer paint is worse than base clear. Very possible. Very possible. Jessica, price for classic will be very dependent on parts availability. Mustang, Camaro, lots of parts. Lower price than, say, a Studebaker. Yes. I agree with that. Ish. Hello, all. Glad you're here. Greg Barry, they sent me an email and sent tools they want to be using in my shop, and I was very surprised. Well, I mean, Greg, if they're going to send you tools for free and they're decent tools, and because I always tell them up front, if I'm going to review something, I'm going to be honest about it. I'm not going to promote their product just because they sent it to me. That wouldn't be fair. I'm not going to do that. But if they sent you some tools and they're good tools, why not? Derek Pro, hi Barry, everyone. Been a while. Hope you're all okay. Yeah, I think we're mostly okay. Most of the voices in my head have quieted down while I'm on the broadcast here. Dave, if a shop doing fab, bodywork, paint, windows, whatever is not familiar with your car's fab methods, they will cover themselves with higher prices in case they get the work. That is a good point too. That is a good point. I've had people comment, or they'll say, "Oh, you make it look easy." Well, I guess in some respects, it looks easy because I'm, say, overly familiar with a lot of this stuff. Growing up and taking cars apart and understanding what bolt goes where and how this, this piece interacts with this piece, it's just kind of a natural feel for me to understand how that works. But So I do get that at sometimes where somebody says, "Oh, you make it look so easy," and I apologize for that. It's just that I don't know. It's like if you're really good at operating a backhoe and you're digging ditches like quick and ready to go, and then the next guy gets on it and he's knocking over mailboxes. When the first guy says, or second guy says, "You make it look so easy." Well, it's because of time and experience, and you know that's what makes a difference. Euclid, when you need parts that the mechanics never heard of, it's going to cost you a fortune. Fabricate it yourself. Yeah, that's a good point. Derek Pro Jade is coming up really well. Been watching progress. Thanks. I'm I'm really happy with how it's looking so far. Chris, I'm picky because of the color, but when the painter everyone sends a cruiser to say black cars look better in the shade, and then talk himself out of it. Yeah. It's because I have a friend. He's older. He used to have a body shop, and let me tell you, he has a 71, I think 71 Nova that he did for his son, and I mean did all the body work. They painted it, buffed it, polished it. I can't say that I've ever seen, and I mean ever, a car that looked better than that Nova. And they drive the thing, and it's black. And I mean, I've seen some fantastic, incredible. You talk about high end, super duper paint jobs. They did this car themselves. But what he does, whenever he goes over the car, he block sands the whole car with a paint stick. The whole thing, paint stick. And then after they'll spray it. He'll go over it again, make sure everything's smooth, spray it. And I mean, in between coats, he's tuning it, making sure all the paint is laid out right and everything. And you say a black car looks better in the shade. This thing was amazing in the sun, but it takes time and it takes effort. And a lot of these guys are just kind of they don't trust themselves to say, "Oh, I can do a good job," until they get it out in the sun, and then they're like, "Oh, this doesn't look good at all." So put it in the shade and hide it is what they're trying to say. Paint is awesome, by the way. Thank you. Appreciate that. Derek was about to buy another 66 Mustangs project, but prices have gone mad here. Okay. Well, I can sell you a 68 that needs a lot of work. 68 shell. Rick, Barry, I would rather trade all my information technology skills for the knowledge you have in your head. Well, at some point I'd rather trade for what you have in your head. It's always the next person. What does he know that I don't? And all the internet stuff. I'm like, I don't understand it. I get through it, but I don't understand it. Beaky Woods, quality material are big money too. My car is big. The material bill was almost $4,000. Yep. And again, this is, I'm spraying a Value Pro paint or clear coat, right? I'm using Shopline base coat. Why? Because I can afford it. A gallon of base coat probably cost me, I don't know, $150, something like that. The clear coat, maybe $100. I don't remember. I went to my PUG rep and I said, "Hey, look, this car is going to be really nice. What kind of clear? What are my options for clear coat?" He said, "Well, you can buy this for $500 a gallon." I was thinking 200, 250 maybe. He said $500 a gallon. I was like, "Man, that's pretty pricey." He said, "Well, let me ask you this." He says, "You're going to park your car outside all the time?" I said, "No." He says, "It's going to be in the garage?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You're good with what you have. Don't spend the money on $500 because it does pay to have quality materials, but there's value in getting stuff that works just because you can how you're using it. I'm not going to be parking the car out in the sun all the time. It'll be inside where it's protected. It'll go out at night. Maybe a nice sunny day, and it's not gonna cause any problems. But materials add up really fast. Euclid, I remember fabricating my own gears for a 53 Buick Euclid truck because it needed parts no one heard of, like this one Triple Z Quill commercial. Oh, okay. Fast and Furious, most body shops around me won't take a classic car and they make much more money on fender bender stuff, quick turn around and less shop time. That is true. That is 100% true. Clark, I'm thinking the money paint job thing should be settled by having an escrow account with predetermined points for payout. That would be nice. That would be nice. I'll give you a bell for that. Shane, did you say you're block sanding jade with 400? Do you use finer grit before paint? No. Well, here's the deal. And I'll just kind of go through this real quick. You can block sand out with 400 and be done. Just be done. Or what I'm going to do is I'm going to block sand it with 400, make sure all the texture is out, and then I'm going to go quickly over it with 600. Just to make it just that much smoother. Just that much. But 400 is good enough. 320 is probably good enough, honestly. But 400 is as far as you normally would need to go. And, but I'm just going a step further. And part of that is I want to be able to sort of showcase this a little bit. Some shops might go even further than that. They might go 800. They might spray it with base and wet sand the base to make it totally smooth. Then go back and spray the clear. And then, go through the clear several times to make sure it's right. So I don't want to get that carried away. But I am going to do 400, and then I am going with 600 wet to just satisfy my own needs, let's say. Chris, I guess survivor status is where it will stay. Probably recompound buff, seal up time and effort. The next couple of paint shops are in the same boat. Yep. Derek, there was a great rust-free 68 available here that needed full resto. Price was $30,000. The 66 that needed full resto was $35,000. Really? I need to just sneak out some cars over there. Crash Rider Black itself is not a difficult color to paint. It is the body preparation is important and requires the time. 100% correct. In fact, to me, black is easier to spray, in my opinion, because you can see it. You put down gray base coat or gray primer, you can tell where that black's going. No problem. When I did the light blue Mustang years ago, that was a challenge because I'd used gray primer and then I sprayed it with that, baby blue, super light blue, and I had a hard time being able to tell if I was actually covering the primer or not because of the color. Rick, admittedly, I have no idea what makes a $500 gallon of clear coat better than a 200 gallon of clear coat. I never did that well in chemistry. Well, it's about the mostly it's about the UV stuff. Mostly, you're paying for that kind of service. Dawn, I used 320 on Betsy. Yeah, that works. Euclid, best thing I ever did, built a 1970 Mac F700 cab over for my girlfriend. That sounds interesting. Dawn, more grip for the paint. Well, that's true. That's true. Jessica, I need to do something about the clear on my 94 Buicks. Yeah, that's going to be a struggle because all that stuff is just crappy clear coat. Chris, I'll pick up a rust-free Kruger for $15,000. Yeah, they're out there. Derek Pro, yep, good idea. Lack of cheaper stock, all overpriced. By the time you finished, is an $80,000 plus car, but people are buying. Well, maybe I just need to, finish this up, make it super pretty, and then send it to Australia, and we'll both cash in. Leland Barry just sold my 68 Fastback for $37,000. Nice. Good for you. Now I need to build the other coupe into the Fastback, right? and then just sell it as a roller. Euclid, my girlfriend's truck painted purple, and she dyed her hair purple to match the Mac. Okay. I'm not going to do that with Jade. I'm not going to do that. No hair color match. That aqua's too hard to match. Because you know the it's Gulfstream Aqua, but it's also, what did I say it was? Something blue poly is the other name for it. Awash, I'm getting ready to build a model car body, and I want it dead, flat, and smooth. What grid paper do I need to start off with and finish up with? You're talking about like a model, like a plastic model? That's a really tough question to answer, because I've not done that sort of thing with a model car. Plastic, I don't know. Or is it? Yeah, I say yes. I mean, the process is such that you're going to end up, in that case, probably 1,500, 3,000 grit. You know, we're almost just rubbing it with something. Even like when you do a buffing job on a car, you may start with, and I'm just saying a number. You may start with like 600, then go to 800, then go to 1,000, 1,500. You know, and you step into that higher number, the smoother it gets. So you may end up looking at something like that. But I'm not familiar with doing like plastic cars or plastic models. Chris says his Firebird won't be sold though. Yeah, that's okay. Keep it. Mustang is getting single stage paint eventually. 400 is still good then. Yeah, I think you're okay with 400. Should be. 400 is pretty smooth. It's pretty smooth. Derek Pro sounds good. You make money for sure. Yeah. Mason, hey Joe Daddy's Garage, how are you doing? Wanted to tell you I bought me a Bose soundbar. So far, I like it. Sounds really good. I had a couple of those long time ago. Long time ago. They weren't nearly what you have today. I had one in my truck. I think it was Bose. Maybe it wasn't Bose. I don't know. It was a box thing, and I actually had it screwed to the roof of my truck. Don Thompson, checking out and go for barbecue. Sounds good. Sounds good. Randall, checking in late from Mountain Green, Utah. Glad you're here. Okay, so Wash, I tried to answer. I don't know if that helped or not. Chris says should be good for a model car. Yep. Mason, do you have a Bose soundbar? Joe Daddy's Garage, I do. I'm actually playing your live stream on my Bose soundbar through Bluetooth. That's cool. Now I need to do some beats or something, I guess, right? Leland Jackson, I have a 68 coupe. Also, all done appraises at 25 grand. You know, that's where people have asked me, you know, about would I sell this car? Well, it would have to be a pretty good number for me to sell this car. And maybe it'll happen. I don't know. I'm not planning to sell it at this point. Euclid, I traveled to Saudi Arabia with a 62 Alpha to a classic car show with Arabs. Interesting. That would be interesting. 62 Alpha. All right. You're done. Jessica said start with the model body color. Timya has it. So there you go. She probably has a better answer than I do for sure. What I may do is 600, then 800, 1,000. Yeah, you may end up. I don't know if you need to go through all those steps that far. You may be able to go to 1,000 to 2,000 to 6,000 or something like that. But it would be I think it'd be a lot of effort, and you may sand away the whole body by the time you go through all that. Chris made this car like Christine. If I do, I'm open bolt stuff on it works, but if someone else wants to work on it, it acts up. Yeah. Ish. Hey, Barry, I sent you a picture earlier. Watch at your leisure car show. Yes, I was looking at those, Ish. Those are some pretty cool shots you sent me. I would try to upload them, but this thing's been, I don't know if it's been fighting with me again. And I don't understand why, because I've been doing, I run my speed test. It shows good. 230 again on the download. And we'll see where my upload speed comes up again. 7, 8, 9, 10. So I don't get it. I don't know why it's doing a little Wi-Fi thing. Really weird. Leland, you'd be amazed at the people that want these cars. I really have no plans to sell this one. Yeah. I say I don't have any plans, but again, if it's somebody wants to throw stupid money at me, and by stupid money, I mean more than it's worth, in my opinion. That's how I look at it. That's what I call stupid money. Because if it's worth 20 grand and they want to throw 30 at me, okay, well, fine. That's where I'm at, but I'm not saying that's where I'm at. I don't get it. Not on Wi-Fi. Connection is unstable. If you're on Wi-Fi, try plugging into your router and moving closer to it. I plugged into my router now. Well, we're about at the time limit anyway. I don't know. I don't get it. It says I'm connected. Okay. Now the little Wi-Fi symbol's gone. Oh gosh. Okay. So Jessica's answered a wash. Euclid, I sold the old Chalmers golf cart to a good family in Madison, Wisconsin. Good. That's a good thing. Derek, you sound like a robot and all blurry. Yeah. And now it's gone back. It's come back. I don't understand it. Why is it doing? I don't even have Wi-Fi turned on. I don't even have Wi-Fi turned on. I don't get it. And they only nope. I'm not going to do it. Okay. Chris, I'd like Joe. Unfortunately, I live in Ontario. Yeah, that's quite a distance. Something like firewall, maybe. Yeah, I don't know about that. You're back. Okay. We'd gladly give you the cash. I would. It would be great. You're back. Okay. All right. So we're at 2 hours. Yeah, how is your garage wired? How much upload do you have? I'm on Ethernet. I'm connected to Ethernet to the house. My upload speed is at 10. Download speed is 220. Why it keeps tripping over to showing Wi-Fi, I don't know. Makes no sense. Ish. This Wi-Fi problem must be UFOs. Yeah. Clark, Barry, how are your belts run on your engine, Jade? Well, if you go back and look at I have a video on it of that setup. It may not be accurate or correct, but I have it. When I put in the power steering and all that stuff, there's a video showing how the belts are run. But again, I've kind of done my own thing with that. Greg, Barry, I like the new hat. Yeah, I do too. Chris, KGB or MB? I don't know. No idea. I don't know what that means. Talk about the secret police for the Russians. Hi, what is topic? Well, we've been talking about, painting cars and painting models and how much cars are not shredded. There's been quite a few things, and I'm kicking off again. Jessica, take care. All I have allowed to do myself. Unboxing RC car number 22. Glad you're here, Jessica. It's tripping me over to Wi-Fi again. Rick, did you see the video I sent you about the Mustang pickup truck? Maybe something interesting to figure your new 68 shell into. Something completely custom. I did see the Mysterio. I'd seen it before. It's definitely a unique thing that they've done with that. And not sure if I'm into that or not, but yeah, I did see it. Derek, what time is it there now? It is 9 p.m. Dale, hats are for sale. Yes. Oh no. Let's see. Chris, no, it's not kilobytes. It's megabytes. It's megabytes. That's what's crazy. If I do my run speed test, right now I'm at 220 download speeds, 225 megabits per second. And then I go to upload speed, and see now it's dropped down to like 1. Why is it doing it? Now it's going back up to, it was high as 10 earlier. So I don't get it. Oh, that's right. Hats aren't for sale. Sorry. They're for donations. Hats are for donations. Good point, Roger. Good point. Yes, donations. So, Dale, I'll point out that I don't have them out here. I have them in the house right now. But I have these available. These available. I also have one that has this on the front and it's camouflage like in the back. And I have another one like this that's dark blue with the mesh in the back. And then I have solid baseball style caps that are, I have green, a dark blue, a black, and a light gray that's kind of like light like this. So if you're interested, you can send me an email at the bottom of the screen right there, joedaddysgarage@gmail.com. And we can communicate on donations towards a hat. So let's see. Derek Pro, thank you. Daylight savings gone here now. Yeah. We want it gone here forever. Clark, maybe it's your computer, like it's running something in the background or bogging down the video processing. It could be. I don't know. Euclid, I love those hats. All you out there, buy one. Yeah, I mean, donate for one. Donate. Ish, don't forget to like and subscribe. Yes. Crash Rider, you need a display set up for your caps for viewers. Actually, I have them. I have them posted on my Facebook page. So I think I may have. I don't know if I posted them on Instagram or not, but let's see. Nick Moss checking in. Glad you're here. Jordan, you look better now, Barry. Well, is it because I'm all blurry? That helps. You're welcome, Dale. Like I said, send me an email. We'll talk. Chris, I noticed speed problems with keeping old devices on Wi-Fi. You have too many people on using it for free. It's when we had issues. Yeah, well, I've upgraded several times on my Comcast account. Derek, could do a package deal with one of your cars, box of hats for 20 grand, and car for free. I like it. Euclid still watching for you on assembly required. If I get there, I'll let you know. Ben, another good show. Take care. All adios. Yes, I got to go. Dave Wayne Warrior, it's time for me to go. I can take no mas. Nick shows up and everybody leaves. Thanks, Nick. Chris, what direction is the house? It's like that way. You've seen it in my videos. You can kind of see the house. You know, I've Ethernet cable running all the way out. Dang. Yeah, Nick. Sorry. Yeah, I got to go. My voice is getting tired. And sorry, Nick. Just how it is. So Chris says fiber optic. No, just Ethernet, regular Ethernet cable. Maybe I should. I don't know. I don't know if I could do fiber optic or not. Rick, the hats are very nice quality. Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, I gotta go. I gotta go. So thanks for being here. There will be, like I said, another video coming out. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Wednesday on the respirator that I bought, and I'm gonna try to do another paint type video on for Friday. So I'm gonna get the hood and the deck lid painted and set them aside so that I can get the car back in there and get it done. So that's going to be it. And until next time, which I'll be here Thursday at 3, unless something crazy happens, like I don't know, whatever. But Thursday at 3 o'clock. So until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya.